Thank you for joining our session today. The session is titled Rethinking Snow Hauling. This is Todd Karolczak. I'm the Director of Sales and Marketing for SmithCo Manufacturing in Lamars, Iowa. In today's session, we're going to learn some new ways to think about moving snow. Our learning objectives of the session today: one, we're going to identify some common inefficiencies with snow hauling today. Two, we're going to understand how side dump trailers work and the various configurations that they come in. And three, we're going to learn the advantages of using side dump trailers. Now take a look at this video, and it's going to highlight several of the problems that we can sometimes see with using an end dump trailer to move your snow.
Yeah, she climbs a little better with the fresh battery in it. You gonna stand between that? You didn't learn your lesson that one time when you almost got crushed?
That was a different scenario there.
Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, just stand right there then.
So we see in this case they're using an electric dump, and definitely the speed is quite slow. There's definitely a safety concern of the operator standing right near the trailer. And they have some problem getting the load to fall out.
Keep going all the way. That's it. It's all stuck up in there. I don't know if what we did earlier helped there. I think it made it worse.
Whatever.
I do.
So they definitely had some problems there with this operation. The other problems that we see besides inefficient haul out and some safety concerns and the speed is actually there is some pressure to get the job done quickly. Let's take a look at this operator here in trying to clear snow in Massachusetts.
It's a quiet little neighborhood in Waltham, Massachusetts. Blocking the road. Cars are trying to get by. They can't squeeze through there, that was the problem. Hauling snow out of here off one of our job sites. The way I got it jacked, there's plenty of room for the loader to get in there. No wires in the way, really.
So even though the snow is done, people are ready to go and move about. They want the snow removed quickly from their road, so there's a pressure to get the job done quickly. In this case, he definitely has to be concerned about the wires, and he says there's really none. It looks like there's a lot of wires there. Anyway, so environmental concerns, has to block the road, and so people aren't going to move out of this area real fast. So really, to summarize, what some of the challenges that we've seen: again, slow dump cycles, inefficient dump cleanout, pressure to get the job done quickly. The public still wants to get where they want to go, so they'd like you to get out of their way, if you will. And then there's always a risk of changing conditions. As we talk about end dumps, if they're not on level ground, if it's too windy, then you're not going to be able to use your end dump safely with the risk of it turning over. So let's consider the side dump solution. What is a side dump and how does it work? Well, the side dump actually works very well because we design it that way. SmithCo has been at this for 32 years. And we still get a number of people in different parts of the country saying, oh, that'll never work. The whole thing's going to tip over. Well, we design it not to tip over. We use some advanced modeling and whatnot. And it's really, the side dump is designed to keep the weight, the center of gravity, over the frame so that you don't tip over. We'll do a number of testing, first the modeling on how we build it. Then once that's built, we can just test and see with lots of sensors and whatnot as where those pressure points are and where the center of gravity is and where the force is on this particular unit. And we have found that we can create a dump cycle that is fast, quick, efficient, and you don't have to worry about turning this trailer over. We even test with different, as you can see, with different sensors and cameras and different materials. The first was some light, rock. Here's some dirt material in this case, but it's up on a hill, notice. So even with the unlevel ground, the way the trailer is designed, it's designed to keep the weight over the frame so that you don't get in an unsafe situation. So typically, a side dump trailers come in different configurations. You've seen a couple already. We have a semi-trailer version, and these are nice. Our standard versions can be dumped to either side, the driver's side or the passenger side, depending on how you want to set it up. Some of them that are designed for more high volume, like the one you see here, are only designed to turn one way, but it was basically built specifically for that, so you could get a greater volume in your load. Another configuration you can find on side dump trailers is our tractor pulled units. They're basically a farm tractor, and you've seen a couple examples. We're going to actually talk about this Winnipeg outfit here in a moment. Basically a different hitch configuration from the semi-trailer, and these can be very versatile to use around your operation. The other configuration that you see that has been very popular with our government agencies is a truck mount box. This is basically the dump truck that you have seen, but instead of dumping to the rear like most dump trucks, this one can dump to the side. Again, it can be configured to dump to either side, the passenger side or the driver's side. The advantages here is you can attach an attenuator, a trailer, anything like that, and you don't have to unattach it to dump your load. So now you can continue to do two jobs at once, if you will. Plus, government agencies really enjoy the fact that you can work along the edge of the road without having to back up across the road to dump a load. You can just dump as you go if you're doing any kind of shoulder work or maintaining anything that's on the side of the road, or even along like a creek bed or something like that. So addressing some of the concerns we saw with the end dump, really there's several advantages to a side dump trailer now that you know that they're built not to tip over. In this case, we're showing how this particular city is basically able to blow the snow from the road. They're using a snowblower on the road and loading the side dump trailer, and there's still a lane available for traffic to get by if need be. They've definitely got the lights going, and people are being cautious, but this can make life a lot easier, and you can get quite a bit in that load. Here the snowblower and the driver of the semi are working together to fill that trailer evenly front to back and maximize the capacity. One of the nice things about hauling and dumping with a side dump is you have options. If you want to dump everything in one pile, you can certainly stop and stockpile in that spot, but you also have the ability to dump on the go or windrow. One, you don't get as much snow right at the back of the trailer, or in this case, the side of the trailer, so you can kind of dump on the go, and now you're ready to continue on. We'll learn more about this in just a minute. I've already mentioned the fact that you can dump to either side. Here's some examples of dumping to the driver's side, and in that particular video on the left is potato waste. They've cleaned up the potatoes in Idaho, and once they've taken all the potatoes out, they haul the sludge out to a spot and dump it. Anyway, he can watch what he's doing on the driver's side. On the other is in Arizona, and here they were building a dam, basically, that's protecting a school that's on the left side of the video. And this would work great because they're trying to basically place material on either side of that dam. And so the trucks can come through and dump it to whatever side they're working on. Now I don't have to push it again. It rolls down the hill. Definitely another advantage of the side dump is you can get more work done in a short amount of time. A lot faster cycle times. I'll show you as they approach the pile. On the left is the side dump. This is at the Winnipeg Airport. And in the right, this is up in Minnesota, around the Twin Cities. And they both approached the pile about the same time. The side dump is already coming back down and is now ready to go get the next load. Meanwhile, I'm still waiting for the dump truck to lift, raise. He had to make sure he was in the right spot. It's kind of inching backward, then inching forward. Can't exactly see what he's doing back there, but now he's figured out his spot, and there goes the load. Once he thinks he's got it clear, he then slides forward. Can't go too far because he's then got to bring the bed back down. And finally, he's off and ready to go get the next load. What was that, twice as fast for the side dump? Almost in that case. So looking back at the key advantages of the side dumps again, they're easier to load without blocking the road. You can stockpile or windrow, your option. You can set them up to dump to either side if you like. Faster cycle times we saw with the side dump. And then safety, we talked about safety. There's no operator getting out and looking at the back of that truck or standing near as it dumps. You also have a view with just looking out the mirror. You have a view of your dump, whether it's on the passenger or the driver's side, versus I don't know what's behind me on my dump truck as I back up. Hopefully no one's back there. And there's minimum maintenance. They're really easy. If you just use your daily greasing the right spots, there's minimal maintenance on these trailers, and they'll last a long, long time. Boy, one of the other advantages of the side dump trailer is that whatever you put in it, it's going to dump back out. If any of you have worked with an end dump trailer, things can get hung up at the bottom end depending on what you're putting in there. But the way that the side dump trailer is designed, it's designed to basically throw things out of the tub. So you're not going to get material stuck in the tub. But then the question is, how do you keep the snow from sticking? The weather condition changes. Sometimes the snow is light and fluffy. Sometimes it's wet and heavy, or it can change while we're out on the job. Well, we do have a solution, and we call it the bolt-on poly liner. In our case, we're actually using a brand name Matrox liner. It has an extremely low coefficient of sliding friction, so it's designed for material to slide off of it. It also has a high wear resistance, which will extend the life of your tub as well. The bolt-on is nice because then once you're done moving snow, you can certainly take the liner off and use your tub for moving other materials, dirt, rock, whatever other work you have going when it's not snow season. So in this case, the liner basically helps kick the snow out of the tub. So not only does it stick, it also kind of helps basically throw it onto the pile. So let's take a look at how the side dump is working in a particular case study. So the Winnipeg Airport bought 2 of these tractor-pulled side dumps, and they're using them in tandem. This particular model is called the Brute CP30. It generally holds 30 tons of material when removing dirt, rock, whatsoever. Obviously, in this case, Winnipeg is moving snow, and they decided to put some extensions at the top as an option, which basically expands the capacity. And with the extension option, they get up to 50 cubic yards heaped. We're going to have Tom Kushner, Manager of Airfield Services, talk a little bit about this project.
Hi, my name is Tom Kushner. I'm the Manager of Airfield Services, and I've been at the airport here for 25 years. We have a semi-truck and a tandem truck for hauling snow. So we looked into SmithCo trailers. They work rather well. With these 2 trailers, we're getting at least minimum 50 yards of snow in each trailer, which was equivalent to 2 semis and 1 tandem in each of the trailers that we're pulling now. So we're really making in 1 trip what it would take us normally 6 trips to do with what we used to use. The cycle time for us dump and back in under 30 seconds and 2 trailers at once. So we can't do that with our trucks now. These trailers could lap what we were doing just with the speed of the hydraulics. We've tried triple axle trailers we thought would be the answer to haul more snow, but instead we were lapping them out for speed, and we were able to haul that much longer with those trailers and the truck than we would be able to do with our own truck and trailers. These were clearly a much better way to go.
Now, I have to be honest, there are some limitations. I tried to do a cycle time comparison like you saw on an earlier slide between the side dump and the end dump. In this case, we took the dump truck that they had normally been using and tried to compare it against the side dump. But it was 35 degrees below Celsius when I was filming this, which is like minus 31 Fahrenheit. And first thing in the morning, anything that cold, the hydraulics are not going to want to work. So it wasn't the greatest comparison like I had on the earlier slide. But once you get warmed up, then it's going to make a difference. I just thought I'd be honest. When it gets really cold, everything works a little slow. I also wanted to talk about another feature. I showed you this slide earlier, but now we're going to watch the end of the cycle. SmithCo builds on what we call the tub slap. This can also help clear content out of your tub as it dumps, and then you'll see it kind of bangs against the side, if you will, and the operator here even does it twice. But we call it the tub slap. It really helps you clean out. You shouldn't have to get out and use a pole or rake or broom or shovel or whatever to get your material out. In this picture, they're not using the liner, but the tub slap can help clear content out of your tub. This particular model of trailer that Winnipeg purchased has flotation tires on it. That helped expand their capabilities as well. Tom Kirshner will explain how that helps.
We got our trailers late in our winter season. The ground was already thawing. Normally, we would have to stop hauling snow as the trucks would start breaking through the frost and start rutting everything up. These trailers with the flotation tires stayed on top, and we stayed on the same track most of the time, never ever punched through the frost.
We also learned that the trailers are easy to operate.
It was always a challenge to have people with Class 1 driver's license. So we were looking at something that would be a little more user-friendly and not have the restrictions. With what it can haul in one load, we need at least 5 or 6 people for trucks, but now we just need one truck driver and a loader operator. That makes a big difference. The technique is a little bit different, but once we got that down pat, away we go.
Tom then continues to talk about the safety and efficiency gains that the operation sees using the side dump trailer.
Liner works really well for us. It's kind of like a floating liner, whereas when it dumps, it almost kicks out any little bit of snow that may stay in the tub. It really works out well for us. Used to have to wait to clear snow on our points, and we had to wait for the winds to be in the right direction. Now, rather than timing it and waiting for Mother Nature to play with us, just go load it up because we can haul such a massive amount of snow. We've had no issues with it rocking. It's a solid unit and safe. It's helping out tremendously. It's a well worth purchase for us. We'll get one more yet.
So, here are the key takeaways from what we've talked about today. 1, safety. We're not worrying as much about the side dump trailer tipping over as happens with an end dump trailer, and you're just staying in the cab the whole time while you operate this thing. Very easy. Operational efficiency. We saw speed gains, cycle time gains, and just the able to go when you need to go and get the job done and get out of people's way. We have a polyliner option that keeps the snow from sticking and throws the snow out of the tub. Minimal training. The trailers are easy to use, easy to learn, and also minimal maintenance, easy to maintain. Who doesn't want easy? Plus, as we mentioned, this robust trailer can be used beyond the snow season. Take out the liner and start moving dirt, rocks, whatever other project you have going on. Very versatile. I appreciate your time today. If you'd like to learn more about SmithCo side dump trailers, you can just go to our website at sidedump.com. Thank you for your time.